Another boxing video. This one's about Canelo. And my friend asked me this, and I thought it was a good question. Is Canelo ducking David Benavidez? And that's been the question that a lot of people have said and even accused Canelo of doing for some time now. And Floyd Mayweather even came out and said, in my opinion, Canelo Alvarez is ducking David Benavidez. Now let's rewind a couple things right now. David Benavidez was champion. I forgot what belt, but he had won the title from I forgot who he beat, but he won the first title. It was vacant, I think. He was the super middleweight champion. He then lost his title because he tested positive for cocaine. So that's on him. He lost that title. That had nothing to do with Canelo. David Benavidez regained the title when he beat Anthony Durrell, who recently Caleb Plant had just beat. Not recently before the fight, I'm saying on the Wilder Helenius undercard. David Benavidez lost his belt the second time because he came over the 168-pound limit. So David Benavidez only has himself to blame from a discipline standpoint when it comes to losing the belt twice. That's on him. That's not on Canelo. Now, at this point, Canelo was a 160-pound fighter. He had never fought at 168. He fought, actually, I take that back. He did. He fought Rocky Fielding. That was like, his first fight with DAZN. He had some kind of secondary title. Nobody really cared about that belt, but it was like more of like a showcase fight, stay busy fight. Canelo fought in 2019. This is when he had that long-term deal with DAZN. He fought Danny Jacobs, 160-pound champion, who had beaten Derevyanchenko for the vacant title, which I think they took from Canelo because Canelo couldn't get an agreement with Derevyanchenko. And then he fought Sergey Kovalev, 175-pounder, in 2019. Then COVID happens, Canelo's inactive. At this point in time, the three champions at 168 were Caleb Plant, Callum Smith, and Billy Joe Saunders. Benavidez did not have a title at this point. Even though a lot of people thought Benavidez was the best fighter at this weight class, he didn't have any world titles. Canelo wanted to become the first ever undisputed champion at 168 pounds in the four-belt era. So what does he do? He fights Callum Smith, beats him. He fights Billy Joe Saunders, beats him. He fights Caleb Plant, beats him, and he becomes undisputed in 1 year. The first one with Callum Smith, they had 2 titles on the line. I think they let him get the other vacant title opportunity because he already had done so much at 160, and he got Callum Smith's belt. Then he beat Billy Joe Saunders for his belt, the WBO, and then he beat Plant for the IBF. When was he supposed to fight David Benavidez? Had David Benavidez had a world title, you could have said, okay, Canelo should fight him. And then if he didn't fight him, that would be ducking. But he has himself to blame for why he didn't have a world title because he did the cocaine and he didn't make the weight. So you lost it not once, but twice. So that's on David Benavidez. That's on David. Then we go to his next fight after Caleb Plant. He was offered a 2-fight deal with PBC to fight Benavidez and then Charlo. He turned that down. Instead to do a 3-fight deal. I think it's like $160 million with DAZN. A lot of Matchroom Boxing, Eddie Hearn in DAZN. A lot of people said, oh, look, that shows he's ducking Charlo and Benavidez. But as the great Robert Garcia said, even if PBC offered him more money than DAZN did, let's say that is true. I'm not even sure that is true, but let's say that is true. I'll have to check the facts. The way he looks at it is, I got to get this Triple G fight in now because Triple G's 40. If I take the PBC deal and fight Charlo and Benavidez, it was going to be Benavidez and Charlo in that order. I'm not going to get the Triple G fight because he's going to retire soon. So let me take the fight with Bivol and then Triple G and then whatever the third fight is, get this money, and then I'll go and fight the 168-pound guys. I'll fight Benavidez and Charlo because they're not going anywhere. Benavidez is younger than Canelo, and I think Charlo is too. So that's just smart business. That's not ducking. So then he goes to the DAZN deal. He fights Bivol unexpectedly loses. Some people said they might do a rematch. He decides to go the Golovkin route. He beats Golovkin. He's got one more fight left with DAZN. I think what he'll probably do is that he'll probably fight John Ryder or Parker, someone like Zach Parker, someone like that. I don't think he does the fight again with Bivol. I don't think he goes back to 175. That's just my gut. That's what that tells me. After this, the DAZN deal is over. I would like to see him fight David Benavidez after that. I think that is the next course of action. He's the number 2 guy at 168. Canelo's the number 1 guy, obviously. He's proven it. And he has to fight Benavidez or Charlo, one of those two, after that. I think if he doesn't fight him from here on, then you could start saying he's ducking him. But as of right now, no, Canelo Alvarez is not ducking David Benavidez. Please let me know what you guys think. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.